10. Now, up next, we'll be speaking with a man who was the vice president at the time when the new constitution was being promulgated, and he's also the Wiper party leader. Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, many thanks for welcoming us to your residence.
Oh, thank you, Aiga. You're always welcome.
Obviously, when you look at one of the aims of the 2010 constitution, it came with an improved framework to fight corruption, to facilitate the war on corruption. And currently, the big story that the nation is focused on is the alleged theft of billions of shillings that was meant to procure medical supplies to combat COVID-19. Oddly, however, the Wiper party, arguably the third largest party in the country, and you as the party leader have been silent on this matter. Why?
Thank you, Aiga. First of all, it's important to appreciate and celebrate Katiba at 10. Constitution 2010, Katiba 2010, is a landmark document where, as far as the history of our country is concerned. And therefore, I've been on record as saying perhaps we could begin to think of Constitution Day when President Kibaki and the rest of the country promulgated Constitution 2010 at Uhuru Park. And so now, 10 years down the line, we are still having to grapple with some of those challenges. Wahiga, we've been very loud on the fight against corruption. Very, very loud. In fact, the only reason Wiper Democratic Movement, or part of the main reason we joined with President Uhuru and were able to progress matters up to the level of cooperation was when we recognized his commitment to the fight against corruption. So we decided then, yes, this is it. This is what we stood for. But with regard to your specific comment about this issue of theft of COVID-related expenditure,
which you've been silent on.
We haven't been silent. Our action come out very strongly.
I tried to look for clips, anything on this matter, and Kalonzo Musyoka has not been on the record. Maybe I can give you a chance.
The latest is my comment to your media colleagues and KTN only 2 days ago, when in fact, as if I had consulted President Uhuru, he came out solidly and supported everything I said about this. Because I know some other colleagues who are saying do the audit.
Why do you think your NASA co-principal, and of course a lot of contention over what NASA is now, preferred an audit?
First of all, Aiga, you have to concede that we have not been silent. We have been spot on this matter. Because Wiper has never condoned theft of public funds. This is very clear. And that is it, living the spirit of the Constitution. But with regard to our other colleagues, NASA colleagues, they probably had their reasons to say what they said. But as far as Wiper is concerned, I'm in complete agreement with President Uhuru's statement when he gave 21 days to DCI and EACC to complete investigation, and in my view, bring whoever it is to book, because the country cannot accept. I mean, you cannot at this time, this pandemic, when so many of Kenyans are jobless, right? So many jobless youths in this country. And then when everybody's praying that this pandemic leaves us and we are happy it is beginning to flatten, then the other people who seemingly would want it to continue because they are making a fortune out of it.
What gives you the confidence that any politically connected players that might be involved in this will be brought to book? Is there sufficient political will, especially if these players
I remember President Uhuru once came out very strongly. He said even if it is his own brother, he has to be held to account. You remember that? He said that. I'm not in any way suggesting that any brother related to the president is involved, but I think that was a very clear statement from the president only yesterday. In fact, as a way of celebrating Katiba 10. So I am fully supportive of what he said, and I think head of state is a head of state. He cannot be seen to prevaricate, where others, like those other colleagues you're talking about, saying things like go the audit way.
You're talking about Honorable Raila Odinga and the ODM party?
Yeah, I saw those statements by our colleagues, and as I said, they have their own reason. This is why we are such a democracy. We are such a democracy. But some of us are impatient when it comes to the fight against corruption. It has to be, and I've actually always said it, this is a low-lying fruit for President Uhuru Kenyatta. As a lasting legacy, when Kenyans will remember, generations to come, that there's a president who actually killed, or literally, who has to take the bull by the horns and slay the dragon of corruption. Mm-hmm. And I want to imagine that during these 21 days, it is not going to be a matter of looking at what happened at KEMSA. Look at all the counties.
Look at all the counties.
Look at all the counties.
We have a wider conversation about the counties coming up shortly when we look at the implementation of the Constitution. But I want to finish with Wiper very quickly. What is the status of Wiper today? A section of the media is describing you as a general without troops.
Oh my goodness. Well, Wahiga, I'm happy you asked that question. Wiper Democratic Movement, you cannot say arguably, in de facto, the third largest political party after Jubilee and ODM, and mainly because then they had presidential candidates we didn't have, because we were playing the role of a supporting cast for NASA co-principal Raila Odinga. But even then, we have about 30 members of parliament, both the Senate and the National Assembly. The party is the most inclusive national political organization. Look at the leadership of the party. I happen to be the party leader, but I have two deputies, Honorable Farah Mahalim and Honorable Shakila Mohammed. Mm-hmm. And recognizing the importance of gender. At that level, my deputy is a lady.
Okay.
And the other one is Farah.
And I think...
Now let me complete. Okay. I think it's important. Okay. And then the chairman, Ali Makwere, Ambassador Ali Makwere, from the coast. Then you have his 4 deputies, Mutula Kalonzo Jr., a vice chair, Victor Swanyo Ogeto from Nyamira, another vice chair, deputy chair, and we have a lady called Anne Kanyi, who is from Nyeri, the other deputy chair, again a lady at that level, and then we have a lawyer from Narok called Kamaro.
And Honorable Kalonzo, I think no one denies the inclusivity of the Wiper Party.
Yes,
and that was not I think many question the absence of the limelights of David Musila, Alfred Mutua, Professor Kibwana, Senator Mudhama, Hassan Omar. Surely their exit must be felt by your
party. There's no exit. Look at Governor Alfred Mutua. He formed his own party. And give it to him. He made an effort. Formed his own party. Never mind the fact he used me to become governor of Machakos, okay? Yeah, and Kenyans know that. Look at Kibwana himself. He was a party chair, okay? Now, Senator Mudhama decided to join the campaign of William Ruto. It is his democratic right, okay? Now, David Musila, of course, that I can tell you was a painful thing for me because he was a national chair. Okay, mm-hmm. And that is why he's himself quiet. And as a national chair, he wanted to be Governor Kitui. And we have Governor Malombo. We had Governor Malombo as a governor, Wiper governor. So we had to run them. And I think we learned a lesson. And the lesson is, and it is not just Wiper alone, I think Jubilee and even ODM suffered similar problems. Yeah, that we need now. This is why under the BBI, I hope we'll be able to resolve this matter when we now begin to look at how parties will do proper nominations. So out of the lot you mentioned, the gentleman I care seriously about is David Musila. The others have taken their political route.
Honorable Kalonzo, could it have something to do with your leadership style? Some of them have accused you of betrayal of trust, selfish pursuit, lack of leadership in critical moments. How do you respond to those accusations today?
I think we have been very focused, Wahiga, and none of that can hold water. Today, Wiper Democratic Movement is the most focused political organization, the most cohesive. You don't hear of divisions. This is why those who cannot play ball, probably because they realize the times have changed. Times have changed. The young Wiper Democrats are everywhere recruiting. Very shortly, you're going to hear of online membership recruitment. This party will have very shortly in excess of 1 million members. Mm-hmm. Very, very shortly. We are going to every corner of the republic. So I don't understand, Wahiga, when you have a party that is most vibrant, the one that is going to hopefully form the next government, of course you expect the naysayers, the negative forces, to try and throw stones. But I tell you, watch wiper democratic movement going forward.
Could some of the statements that you have said in the past be the reason that some have chosen to chart the presidential path alone?
Like
when
what?
you say that you now see yourself as mtu wa mkono of the president, could some then say, if that tag is what he sees himself as, we are going to go our own way?
I said that at my father's funeral, first of all in jest, and also it was well considered.
Very seriously.
Yeah, I'm happy they did, because mtu wa mkono, since that time, yeah, how many have seen me carrying a djembe, yeah, to go and do some wash cars at State House and do things like those. What I meant was we were going to the negotiating table with Uhuru Kenyatta, and that is where we are. That is exactly where we are. I made it clear that with my experience in politics, I've been able to look at the demeanor of my colleagues, and I am able to think that I can put my trust in the ability of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Is very sincere. Very, very sincere. And of course, he has also taken hold of Jubilee Party, with which we are now in cooperation. So, mtu wa mkono Wahiga is not a literal meaning of somebody carrying somebody's bag. It meant basically that we are the negotiating table. The naysayers did not sleep that night. In fact, they ran around saying, sasa, kama kiongozi anakuwa mtu wa mkono, wengine tutakuwa wapi? Of course, that fell flat. Kenyans were able to see that I was forward-looking. I was trying to position wiper democratic movement to be able to wrest leadership of this country.
What's the negotiating stance of a mtu wa mkono? You say you're on the negotiating table.
Yes.
That's not the stance or the position of a man who would be on a negotiating table.
No. Mtu wa mkono, for instance, is really to say, when it comes to national good and the need to hold this country together, all right, you play your part. Even mtu wa mkono, play your part. Like now, we are looking forward to perhaps the next level of BBI, which is maybe a referendum. Playing a mtu wa mkono role, we will be there. Yeah, we'll be active. But I don't understand.
It's a confusing statement, Your Excellency. And let me say this. You fought off another tag that actually came up around the 2010 Constitution.
Yeah.
You know that tag.
Yeah, I know.
Do you regret the mtu wa mkono statement you made? Because many say, then it was watermelon, now mtu wa mkono. Could these work against you?
No. Of course, for those who feel that those statements serve them well, others even give me a tag of, I saw a cartoon of a chameleon. That is not what I am. A true nationalist, somebody who will speak. And now we've chosen to speak the truth as we know it, right? Look at that thing about the watermelon. Those people will say, usiku ni yes na mchana ni no, or something.
10 years ago to this time.
10 years to do.
Is when that time.
And I was there because I was basically saying, I would prefer, and I still prefer, a non-contested referendum, okay? If we're going to have to review this constitution the way we're going and end up doing another referendum, it is always preferable to have a non-contested referendum. However, in a hurry to get Constitution 2010, people forgot, because first of all, I mean, I am learned in the law, I am a lawyer, and people should have listened to what I was trying to say in some of those things. How else do you explain the fact in a hurry we end up with creating the office of cabinet secretaries, right? But no deputies. Forcing the president sometime years down the line now to create a non-existent post called the CAS, Chief Administrative Secretary. Very simple things that people in a hurry to overlook. Who doesn't know the system that you adopted, the structure of government, is the most expensive. We have 47 mini presidents, call them governors. And these are some of the truths. Had we listened, we probably would have ended up with
Had we listened
Yash.
to you?
Yes, to me and others who were actually also thinking. That time the church also had issues, all right? And we said, let's listen also to the church. That is when I say, because everybody knew Wahiga, my belief, which has remained constant. They said they cannot, if the church is saying no, this man must also be saying no. And the opposite was the case. I was for Constitution 2010. Yeah? Look at people like William Ruto, who are beneficiaries of the Constitution, we went against it, and nobody gave them that kind of a tag. So when you stand in the middle, you stand in the gap, literally, and say, wait a minute, let us reason together. Those who want to undermine your future will always come up with guns blazing. That's what they did, and give you a tag. When I then, because this tag was given to me by my brother Raila Odinga, when I was running twice as his deputy, did you hear of watermelon? You never heard of it. Yeah? So what does that tell you? What does that tell you?
I see that you're a man who attracts many tags, and so today you say the tag General Without Troops is incorrect.
That is your tagging, and I hope it is not also picked. It is not picked, because if it is picked, I will blame it on Wahiga, who is a son of my brother, because I don't know how you got on that one. General Without Troops.
Newspaper today.
Oh, then that is terrible. That is people who are creating it out of their own richness of imagination, and it will not fly. It will not fly.
It will not fly.
No.
Okay, and you want to leave it at that. The final question.
Because if they think Mudhama is a general, then forget it. I've made it very clear.
No, Mudhama was a troop of the general in reference to you.
Oh, it's a troop.
Yes. Who has left?
Why do people think Mudhama is why do they think he's important? And
he claims to have negotiated even your vice presidency in
No way. Yeah, because yes, give it to him. Twice, when I was on a trip to Israel, I saw him having lunch with my brother Raila at his Tala home. He hadn't consulted me. And then from there, I see them watching a Gor Mahia football match. When I came, of course, there was this ICC debate all over the place. And it's repeated because I think more by design, he ended up in Machakos. Because remember that time we had the G7, okay? And I was leading the effort internationally to say, let us have ICC hybrid court or something brought home, not at The Hague. And then some people are saying, don't be vague, go to The Hague. Remember the shuttle diplomacy that I was involved in. If I would want anybody to give me a tag, it should be that I was the lead of the shuttle diplomacy. But this negative slant, Wahiga, is very, very discomforting. And so Mudhama then stood at that rally in Machakos, the last G7 rally, and he spoke in Kikamba, saying blah, blah, blah kind of thing, giving the impression that when Uhuru and Ruto go to the Hague and are imprisoned in Kikamba, then Kalonzo will be president. Of course, that was the end of G7. All right? If you call that negotiation, then I think Mudhama was a truly good negotiator.
Honorable Kalonzo, thank you for making that very clear. We have a wider conversation around the Constitution that we're getting to shortly, but at this time, let's take a quick break. Thank you for staying with us. This is our ongoing series, Katiba at 10. We'll be right back.